Well, hi Joe, how you doing? 40 years old. It's hard to believe that it's 40 years that you were born. I remember that day very well. I won't get into that story. And for some of you, I have so many stories to share, but I'm going to share one that really stood out to me as I was thinking about this. All of you who know that Joe's a fisherman. One day when we were in New Orleans and Joe had Metro Praise out there with Freddie and Sarah, one of the things he liked to do was relax, is to go fishing. Well, so his mom and I, we were out there. We were having either a late lunch or an early dinner. And of course, I wanted to bond with Joe. So I said, Joe, why don't you take me fishing? Even though I don't really care for fishing, you have to understand, I'm from the south side of Chicago, city boy. I said, Joe, I'd like to go fishing with you. He said, that's great. He said, I'll pick you up at 12. Now, being a good dad, what I said to Joe, I said, Joe, yeah, you don't have to pick us up that late. You know, you could pick us up a little earlier. I was thinking Joe meant the next day at noon. No, Joe says, I'm going to pick you up at midnight. I look at his mom, I said, midnight? And then, yeah, he says midnight. So anyway, the day midnight comes, you know, we're sleeping at 10 o'clock. So here he is, he picks us up, picks me up at midnight. And we're driving down this road, and we're going for about an hour already. And I'm wondering, where's he going, back to Indiana fishing or what? So about 2 hours later, we get to this place called Grand Isle. Now, you have to understand there's nothing there in this Grand Isle. There's no lights, nothing. There's just the moon shining down. And I'm looking to my left. I'm looking to my right. There's these houses on sticks. The water's all around them. Then we pull into this convenience store, kind of like a convenience store. It was about the size of a two-car garage. There was one light on in it. Joe pulls in the parking lot. Apparently they knew Joe because they asked if he wanted to use the same bait that he normally does. He says, yeah. So they give Joe the bait. So now he parks the car and we have to walk. Now, it's completely dark. The only light we have is the moon shining down. And I'm looking to the right, there's water. To the left, there's water. We're walking up this bridge, and it's crinkling. Joe's carrying these poles. He gave me something to carry. And I'm wondering, really, I feel like I'm in an Alfred Hitchcock movie. I'm waiting for the climax over here. So now he starts throwing this bait in the water. I don't even know how he can see where the water was. Well, to make a long story short, we didn't catch anything for 2 hours, and he wanted to go home. The point of the fact that I'm trying to make here is this. When Joe says to you, if you want to go fishing, and he says 12 o'clock, make sure you verify that it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon, not midnight. Now I'm going to turn it over to Mom, and she'll tell you a little bit about her experience.
Well, I have a lot of stories to tell about Joe, but the one that really comes to my mind is that, you know, when the Lord saved Joe, he delivered Joe of everything. He was delivered. He was a new man. But there was one thing that was still hanging on to Joe a little bit, and he was afraid in the nighttime when it got black outside. I don't know if the enemy came and tried to torment him or whatever. So Joe had his bedroom right across the hall from us, and so you know, he wouldn't admit what was going on in his life. So he said, you know, we're going to keep all the doors open so we can let the Spirit flow.
Yeah.
And so, as being a married couple, that wasn't always easy, but you know, that's your son, so we left the doors open. And Joe would come home and he would go to Three Rivers, and they would preach until the wee hours of the morning, and then the guys would go out for breakfast, and they would do that 3 or 4 days straight. And I said to Joe, Joe, I'm so tired, I can't go to sleep until you get home. And I said, you know, just come home late so much. And he said, Mom, we're just so tired. Tonight I know that we're going to come home early. And I thought, oh, great, you know. And Jim was out of town, and when Jim was around, I really couldn't raise my voice or yell. And being Italian, that was a little bit hard. But Jim was out of town this time, so Joe didn't come home till the wee hours of the morning. And the later it got, I should have been thankful that the Lord, you know, had saved him and he was up to good things. But I was just getting, you know, madder and madder because I wasn't being able to sleep. So he came home they went out for breakfast or whatever, and he came home, and I was so mad I blew my stack, and I could yell and scream because Jim wasn't home. And then I said, out of all my anger, I said, and we are no longer going to sleep with the doors open. Bam, I closed the door. Bam, I closed the door. Bam, I closed another door. And from then on, we got to sleep with the doors closed. And that's the end of that story.
Well, anyway, you had to be there for all these stories. But Joe, we're so proud of you. 40 years, what God has done.
Praise God.
You are such an awesome man of God. I look up to you as far as your preaching and your teaching.
Yes.
Like I tell you before, and I tell you again, that you are the best preacher, teacher that I know. And I am so very, very proud of you.
Anointed and appointed, yes.
And the family that you have, Nancy, my goodness, and then the girly girls and Lucas. What a blessing you've done with us. And
yes.
We're so very, very proud of you. 40 years, and I can't wait to see you when you come to Florida here.
Yes,
and
love
enjoy
you, Joe.
the sunshine.
Love you, Nancy, and the kids.
You be blessed. Remember what I say. Stay close to Jesus. Guard your mouth and guard your heart, because out of it comes life. But above all, protect your testimony.
Yes, praise God.
Amen. Be blessed.
Amen. Happy birthday.